I walked into our home and found my wife, Stacy, wrapped around her gym boss, Goliath. My heart shattered, but my resolve hardened. That night, I risked everything and won $40,000 in a brutal arm wrestling match against him. The lies and deceit only fueled my thirst for revenge. What followed was a series of confrontations and revelations that left everyone stunned. This is my journey from betrayal to vengeance. Stay tuned to witness it all. Growing up on a farm, I knew I had to join the military if I wanted to see more of the world than just trips to the tractor store. We weren't poor, but not quite middle class either. My mom made our clothes, and we never went on trips after I turned 7. Most of my day was spent loading and stacking bales of hay, straw, and alfalfa. After high school, my best friend and I joined the Marines for 4 years, despite our parents' wishes. Hoorah! We were in the U.S. at first, but then got sent to South Korea and Japan. We were told to stick to American-friendly places when we went out. My buddy Hal and I tried to see as much as we could, knowing this might be our only chance. I spent half my money on girls and sent the rest home to help out. Our duty there wasn't too special, mostly standing guard. Hal and I didn't steer clear of girls. I got into some trouble a few times, but I avoided serious issues by being careful. We joined in all the fun and games that Marines come up with. By the end of our service, everyone called me Army, though my name is Calvin Bostic. Back home, Hal kept calling me Army, and it caught on. Folks thought it was funny since I was in the Marines, not the Army. I just let it be. In the military, I learned to let things slide and not get mad easily. Our town, Belford, wasn't tiny, but there wasn't much work unless you farmed or built things, especially without a college degree. We had the usual shops and restaurants, but no big stores yet. We had 2 banks and a few fast food spots. I didn't want to move far from my folks. They weren't old, but I wanted to be there to help them. They wished for me to find a better life, but after seeing the world, I chose to settle down. I grew up on a farm, so I went for construction work. I did hard work lifting and moving bricks, sheets, wood, and more. I had to carry stuff to places where machines couldn't go. Hard work was nothing new to me. I could keep going all day. I'd be tired at night, but after a shower, I was ready to hang out and have fun with friends. When I met Stacy at Higgins, it was like magic. She was the finest girl I'd ever seen, and I'd seen plenty. I asked her out a lot until she said yes. It seems she agreed just to make me stop asking, but we clicked right away. It was hard to find 2 people more in sync. She had everything: looks, charm, jokes, and man, she was shaped just right. After 9 months of dating, I asked her to marry me. We got married 6 months after that. Both of us were 24 and very happy. Stacy came from a nearby place, so she understood the area like me. We thought about kids, but knew we had to save more money first. My dad told me to make more money before having kids. He was right. We couldn't afford them yet. After paying our rent and monthly bills, we hardly had any money left. We were just scraping by, and after 2 years of being married, we could just about afford a pair of cheap tires for my car. Somerville, the 3rd biggest city in our state, was 40 miles away from our Belford home. Kensington is a small but growing place where lots of Somerville workers live. It's only 22 miles from Belford and keeps getting new shops for all the people moving there. One new place was Stokes Fitness Palace, a gym for both men and women. "Army, guess what exciting thing I found out today?" Stacy said one afternoon. "What? Is there another deal at the dollar store?" I joked. "No, not that. My buddy Brenda was out for lunch and she told me about a new gym opening in Kensington. They're looking for people to work there in the next week or so. She found out how much they pay, and it's about 30% more than what I make at the diner. I could almost make as much as you." "Isn't that great?" she said, excited. "We could start saving for our family. I really want us to have that baby we've been dreaming about. But do you know anything about gyms or working out? Don't you need to have studied that sort of thing? I'm not sure what they want for these jobs, but I won't know unless I try. Connie said she'd start early so I can go to Stokes Fitness Palace for an interview. I'll cover her shift later tonight. Brenda told me they welcome anyone. No need to book a time. Well, I guess checking it out won't hurt. We don't have many chances here in Belford, do we? If you land the job, you'll have to travel back and forth every day. Don't get too excited, but yeah, give it a shot. After her job the next day, you won't believe it, Army. They gave me a job at that gym in Kensington you told me about. Yep, they're paying me 25% more than what I get now. And after 2 weeks, they said they'd bump it up to 30% more, just like Brenda mentioned. That sounds almost too good. What will you be doing there, Stacy? That's the cool part, Army. They have a training program right there. They'll teach me about all the gear. Once I know my stuff, I'll be a floor manager. I'll help folks who are new with the gear. They said if I work hard, I could even become a trainer and get another 20%. Isn't that awesome? Stacy said, all excited. When do they want you to start? I told them I'd need to give my current place a 1-week heads up. I don't want to leave them hanging. They were cool with that. Are you still good with this, Army? It means we can start saving more for our family. As soon as you think we can do it, I want to have a baby with you, Stacy said softly. Nothing would make me happier, I told her. At first, Stacy wore plain clothes to her new job, regular pants and bright button shirts. After a month, she got 5 sets of yoga pants with tops to match. She said she needed to fit in with the gym vibe. That made sense. 3 months in, she switched to really short spandex shorts. I wasn't a fan because it was too revealing. She just shrugged me off, saying I was being too worried, and showed me photos from the gym where all the other girls dressed the same. She even got tips from some of the men. She helped in all sorts of ways to ease my worry. One day, I left work early and went to Stokes Fitness Palace without telling her. I watched her for a bit before she saw me and came over quickly. Hey there, what brings you here? She was all smiles. Just wanted to see where my wife works. It's a nice place. I like it. I'm happy you came, Army. Let me introduce you to my boss, she said, pulling me along. She introduced me to a huge man. Gerald, this is my husband, Calvin Bostic. People call him Army. Army, meet Gerald Jenkins, but we all call him Goliath, and you can see why. When we shook hands, Goliath tried to show his strength subtly. He was much bigger and stronger than me, but I kept cool. He stood tall and was all muscle, like a living ad for the gym. We both kept smiling for Stacy's sake. Soon, someone pulled him away, so Stacy took me around, sharing details about their work. I saw 2 more women working there dressed just like her. Visiting her eased my doubts. Then Stacy started coming home with more energy. It was wild, nearly every night. She said it was because of her workouts, better fitness, and eating right, which she also got me into. She got leaner and stronger. I didn't question this new drive of hers, and we enjoyed our time together a lot. She never talked about her male co-workers, not even Goliath, which I thought was good. Then a day came that changed everything for us. On a Friday night, Stacy had news about her work. Love, I don't usually work on weekends, but there's this big thing at the gym tomorrow. They need everyone to help out. It's a big show at 7 p.m. It's not for just anyone, but they want partners there. I want to show you off as my husband. Will you come, please? She looked at me with those cute eyes of hers. What's the big thing, Stacy? You know I won't join any of their plans. I move a lot at work already. I swear they won't make you join. Then what is it? Are you getting some kind of prize? Maybe, she said, not wanting to say more. After this, we might start our family sooner. You must come to see... All right, I'll be there to see what's up, I said. That night, we were so busy I could barely move afterward. I woke up alone on Saturday morning. I called my friend Hal and spent a good part of the day helping him with his car. He always had something to add or fix on it. I told him about my talk with Stacy and how I felt something odd but couldn't say what. Look, Hal said, how about I come with you tonight just in case you need help? Plus, come inside and see this cool thing I got in a card game. It's a small pen that can record voices. It can hold up to 70 hours, and you can save the recordings with a built-in USB. You just twist the top to turn it on. A friend gave me this pen that can listen from far away. He got it to hear his girl loud. Joy's in bed. I tried it. It hears things clear from about as long as a bus. Cool, like a spy thing. Might not need it, but good to have. Thanks, Hal. It was a nice, cool night, so I wore my light coat with zip pockets. I hid the pen in a pocket inside. Hal and I got to Stokes' gym right before 7. I made sure the pen was on. A big man at the door wanted to see ID. I showed my driver's card, and he let me in. But when Hal tried to follow, the man said, "Hold up, buddy. This is a special event, and you can't come in. Just Mr. Bostic here." I looked at him and said, "No go. If Hal can't come, I'm not coming either. Tell Stacy Bostic her husband was here." We turned back. "Wait, sir. You're special here. Okay, your friend can come, but I have to take your phones. No pictures or sounds inside. We didn't like it, but gave him our phones. He put them in small brown bags with our names and put them in a box. He locked the door as we went into the big room. We saw big tables and a lot of men getting ready for something. Hal had to stay in the room while I was taken to see Stacy in an office. I signaled to Hal that I was fine. He chilled and started to walk around the gym. We went into an office and the door shut behind us. I saw Gerald, big guy Jenkins, sitting at a table across from me. Stacy was there too, wearing a dark robe. 5 other guys popped up from one side like they were waiting for me to show up. "Hey, Stacy, what's up? Why are you in a robe and not your usual clothes?" I asked. Stacy looked worried. A big guy answered my question and gave her a nod before saying, "Show him." Stacy, almost shaking, asked, "You promised he won't remember any of this?" "Not a thing. I promise on my life, sweetie. Go on, show him." Stacy took off her robe and was in the tiniest bikini I've ever seen. There were 3 little bits of cloth barely held on by thin straps. You could almost see everything. "Stacy," I asked, "tell me what's happening. Why are you almost bare in this room with all these guys? I don't see any other girls here. Have you been seeing someone else? Is this your way of showing it to me?" I asked, getting mad. "Army, it's not like that." "Well, it kind of is, but not really. Babe, it's great. After tonight, we'll have lots of money to start our family. We won't have to wait to have kids. That's why I'm doing this." "Really? For us?" "What do you mean, Stacy? I don't like this one bit. Put your clothes back on and let's get out of here. Come on." When I tried to take her hand, big guy stood up and blocked her. "Sorry, Army. Stacy's staying here tonight. You'll have her back tomorrow, but tonight she's with me. And you can't change that," he said with too much pride. "The heck I won't," I said as I moved forward, but the 5 guys who were behind me quickly came around me and told me to stop. "Don't hurt him," Stacy yelled. "If he gets even a small hurt, then no deal." Goliath gave a nod and his guys stepped back, being careful around me. "Why not fill me in, Army? What was your job in the Army anyway? Back up or I might lose it. Then they'll have to really hurt me or kill me to stop me." "I hope you're okay with that, Stacy. I hope you can face my folks knowing you're why I'm gone." Stacy gasped and started to speak, but stopped when Goliath signaled his guys to back off. They did. "I wasn't in the Army. I was a Marine. They called me Army." "Why would they do that?" Goliath laughed. "They think you weren't cut out for the Marines." "Someone better spill what's up or it's going to get ugly," I said loudly, getting mad. "All right, Army, I got it. I really like your wife, Stacy. I've been hitting on her a lot, trying to get her to bed, but she's not having it. We've kissed and gotten pretty close, but she always stops. She told me you two want to save up to start a family. So I thought, why not set up an arm wrestling match? If I can get enough people into it, she can share the prize with the winner. But the winner also gets a full night with her. She didn't like the idea at first, but soon started asking about the cash and how many people would join. That's when I knew she was in. I just had to fill in the blanks of my plan." I was really mad now, but remembered the pen in my pocket and calmed down a bit to let him keep talking. Goliath went on. "I could tell she was into me too. I told her she could get $20,000 and spend a wild night with me if she helped out. She wanted to know how. I told her to make a private video at home. We could show it to guys who might want to join the contest to win both the money and a night with her. We'd ask for $1,000 to join when enough guys seemed interested." I started to get it ready, but there was still a problem. She didn't like the idea of cheating, so I had a new idea. I said, "What if you, Army, could join in too? You wouldn't have to beat everyone. You just arm wrestle the final guy. If by some chance you won, then she won't have to do more than flirt and you both keep the cash." The tiny chance of you winning made her think about it. I was trying to keep cool. I had made up my mind that if the goons tried to grab me, I'd fight back. Punching, kicking, elbowing, headbutting. Goliath took a gulp of water, then went on. "She still felt you wouldn't let this happen without it ruining your marriage. Maybe ending it. The girl loves you, that's true. So I thought of a fix for that too. After you lose, the contest is done. These 5 guys here will bring you back and get you very drunk. Then they'll give you a shot of ketamine. It's a drug used to put down big animals. People found it's good because it wipes your memory for about a day. It's hard to find and tests don't easily catch it. It's known on the streets as Special K, Cat, Valium, or Kit Kat. That's why I can tell you everything now, because you won't remember a thing I said tonight. Nothing at all. So there are 40 men signed up to fight for the cash and a night with your wife. I'm the top man in this place. Easy. I've let them all think they stand a chance, but none do. I'll win the 40 grand, split it with Stacy, and be with her all night while you're out cold and forgetful. You'll be taken home tomorrow to sleep it off, and I'll drop your wife at your place after I'm done. When you wake up, she'll say she won $20,000 in a contest, and you two can start making babies as you wish. You won't recall a thing. She'll have her cash, and I'll have had my fun. You just slipped up, Gerald, I said coolly. Oh? How's that? He smirked. First, you just shared your plan with these 5 guys. They do all the hard work, keeping me busy and drugging me while you get all the spoils. Why would they want to keep me here now? I asked. It's worth asking. He figured these 5 know they've got no shot against me, so they didn't even bother to try. Your wife paid them up front to keep an eye on you and make sure it all goes as planned, so no fight tonight. Stacy paid them? I asked, puzzled. Yep, pal, the guy next to me said. She did a real number on us earlier today. Man, you're lucky your wife's a pro. I might ask her to show my wife how it's done, he teased. Stacy gave me a weak smile when I asked, Is it true you did that for all 5 before I got here? She looked down, too guilty to lie. So your second mistake is thinking they'd want to take me out because they won't get me back here without a real fight or worse, killing me. Stacy, that's going to eat into your $20,000 with my medical bills. You know, for fake teeth, broken bones, and what else? Just showing up at the hospital is $1,000. Insurance won't cover it until we hit $12,000, so you'd lose more than half your cash. That's unless these guys go all the way and kill me, and I doubt they're up for that. Not for what you gave them. Plus, they'd have to worry about someone spilling the beans. The third thing, I thought ketamine had to go in the veins. You think I won't notice a needle mark and get suspicious? I asked. And what about taking too much? Like that kid who died when the cops went too far. Seems like Stacy's okay with my dying. Stacy winced at that. One of the guys said, taking it by mouth works just fine, and I've got it figured out. Stacy told me how much you weigh, and I looked up just the right amount to knock you out and wipe your memory. Sorry, guys, I don't want to win or do any of this stuff, especially not for her. If she's okay with this nonsense and selling herself, she's all yours. Do what you want. I'm done, I snapped. I'm afraid you can't just leave, Army, Goliath said again. A deal is a deal. I told your wife you'd fight for the prize in her honor by arm wrestling the winner tonight. Then I said you'd forget everything about this night. What honor? She clearly has none. I don't care who she's with or what she does. I just wanted to leave her and end this as fast as I could. Stacy started to cry because of what I said. And like I told you, I won't be back. So you might as well end me now. Don't listen to him, Stacy. He won't remember any of this tomorrow morning. He'll be the loving husband you know. You have my word, Goliath told her. Hearing this, Stacy gave a small smile, even though I had just said I wanted a divorce. Fine, I'll compete. But know that you'll have to kill me, I stated. Enough talk. Let's go and start this thing, Goliath said, brushing off my words. They took me to the gym, where everyone cheered and shouted when they saw my wife in hardly any clothes. I looked for my buddy Hal. Where is he? I asked. Your friend? He chose to leave. We didn't make him stay. Sorry, one of the guys said, but I knew they must have made him go. Still, he had to be close, waiting in his car. I just couldn't let him know I needed help. Goliath wore a light coat, hiding his huge muscles. He didn't want to scare any players and crush their hopes. Most didn't know him since they were from different places. He started to talk to the crowd. Okay, everyone. We've all been waiting for this. All 40 of us have paid our $1,000 and agreed to the rules. Stokes Fitness Palace won't be blamed if anyone gets hurt here. This is a 2-strike game. Lose once, you can still fight. Lose twice, and you're out. Our friend Stacy wants this to be fair. She said her husband Army should also have a chance to fight for her honor. He'll take on the top player. If he loses, the winner gets everything. Is that clear? All the men seemed to agree. Great, he continued. The winner gets a trophy and $20,000. Stacy gets $20,000 no matter who wins. Along with the night with her, the winner can have her any way they want as much as they want. You've all seen her video. Someone's going to have an amazing night. I heard someone say, "That's a lot of money for one night, but she looks worth it." The crowd was loud and excited while Stacy danced for them. "We have two special guests tonight, Mr. Justin Albright and Mr. Kevin Saunders. They are official reps from the World Arm Wrestling Federation. They will watch over each match. Their decision is final. No arguing. We have 2 arm wrestling tables ready to keep things moving fast. The grip pegs are for more push and grip with 2 goes at once. Each guy gets a fair shot to win. We're using a computer to pick names at random to set up the first 20 matches. Once those are done, the computer will sort the next matches until we're down to the last 2. If you get knocked out, stick around to cheer for your mates." The arm wrestling tables were made for standing, not sitting. They had soft pads for the elbows to keep it from being painful and to avoid injuries. The goal pads are what each guy tries to slam the other guy's hand onto. The names get shown big and clear on a wall by a projector. The tables stood about 10 feet apart. Stacy stood in the middle for one more thing to say. "Good luck to all," Stacy said. "And hey, if you want a bit of luck before you go, come give my chest a squeeze," she said with a laugh. "I've got to say something," I shouted, cutting her off. "I'm marked for death after this event tonight." The crowd gasped. "See those 5 tough guys?" I pointed them out. "They're here to keep me in until it's over and to take me out if I don't win. I'm hoping there are some good guys here tonight. I just wish there are enough to help me get out safe. Stacy's grown. She can do what she likes. If she wants to offer herself to the winner along with the prize money, that's her choice. In my heart, I hope to win and walk away with my prize and my wife. If not, at least I'd stay alive. I'd be right here in the middle of everyone. You could see me get pushed out or dragged to a dark spot and held down." The judges looked at me hard, and some men around looked scared. "No one dies here tonight," Goliath shouted, looking at me. "Sure, Mr. Bostic, or Army as we call him, will go out the door when this is all done." In under 3 minutes, 2 matches were done, making the first round end in less than 30 minutes, with double elimination in the next round. In another half hour, half the guys were out. The last 20 were paired up by a computer in random matches. Stacy wanted to spice things up more for those left. She let them touch her chest for luck. Every guy jumped at the chance. It was gross to see her touched all over, but she seemed to enjoy it and pushed each guy to go for it. Now and then, she tossed me a smile. Stacy kept giving me looks as if she wanted me to dive in too, but whenever she called me over, I just looked away. I could tell she was buzzing with excitement and not worried because I wouldn't recall a thing. As time went on, 5 more rounds happened in the next 15 minutes, making 10 winners and losers. Another 15 minutes and only 10 were left as an hour and a half had passed. The room was thick with guys pumped up, dreaming of winnings and a wild night with my wife. You could cut the tension with a knife. One of the tough guys got in my face. "You just had to shoot your mouth off. Well, I'm going to make sure you regret it when you wake up. We'll just say you took a nasty spill." In the next half hour, it got down to the final 2. True to form, all the guys kissed and felt up Stacy before each game. In the end, it was the big guy against another buff dude in the semifinal. The big guy wasn't easy, setting him up against me, just like he said. I took off my jacket and tied it around my waist so I wouldn't lose it. I was led to the table for the big showdown. The refs were all set to call the last game of the night and pick the top dog. Standing there across the table was a huge man. No one thought I had a shot. They all thought Stacy, my wife, was going to be his prize. They laughed, thinking she'd be with him soon. But when I stepped up, the room got quiet. "Where's the $40,000 prize cash? I want to see it," I said. "Win or lose, I didn't want to come back to that office." "Why do you want to see it? You can't beat me," the big man gloated. "Maybe," I said. "But everyone's been talking about my wife before their game. I just want to see the cash for my turn. No rule against that, right?" I wanted to make sure it was there if by some chance I won. They all laughed at that. I just smiled. "Fine," he said, and nodded to a guy who went to get the lockbox with the money. He opened it for me to see. "Can a ref count it to make sure it's all there?" I asked. The big man nodded, getting tired of me. Mr. Aubrey counted and said it was all there, $40,000. "If you don't mind, could you keep it safe till the end and make sure I'm safe too? I've said it before, my life's at risk. Winning or losing, leaving might not be easy for me." Justin looked at the big man, who agreed. "Go ahead, Mr. Aubrey. We all trust you." he said, and Justin kept the cash safe. Happy now, Army? The big man smirked. You can go if you want. No one here will hold you back. But the look on his face said something else. I was pretty sure he had sent at least 2 or maybe 3 of his tough guys to wait for me outside. Totally. I made sure. I'm just here for the cash chance. I don't care about her now. She was fun in bed. But who'd want to be with a lady who doesn't care about right or wrong? I'm thinking of leaving her, win or lose. Stacy shot me an angry look. All right, let's finish this useless fight so I can get to your wife. Come here, dear. Show me again how sweet you are, which will soon be all mine, he bragged. Stacy walked up to him and kissed him deeply, more passionately than I had ever seen. Her hands went straight to his pants in front of everyone, while Goliath pulled down her top and began to kiss her chest right in front of me. I had never felt so mad and ashamed at once. Then a cold feeling washed over me. After he enjoyed Stacy's moves, she walked over to me to do the same. I stopped her right there with a firm voice. Don't touch me ever again, Stacy. You heard what I said. I don't want a lady with no care for right or wrong. Maybe tomorrow I'll be gone or beaten badly by your new friends. But I hope you remember what I'm about to say for the rest of your life. $20,000 for a night makes you an expensive call girl, but still a call girl. You're just a cheater. And if I could, I'd end our marriage right here. Move back so I don't have to see you. Just looking at you makes me sick. Stacy started crying out loud. I heard shocked sounds from the crowd. The referees looked mad. I couldn't tell if they didn't like how I acted or knew there was bad stuff happening. I hoped they saw I didn't want to be part of it. I thought about asking someone to call the cops and let Goliath do what he wanted to shut me up with lots of people watching. That could wait. When Stacy moved, as I asked, Goliath stood up for his win of the night. Who do you think you are? You can't talk to her like that, he yelled. She's been my wife for years, but if I can, I'll leave her. She won't be my wife or have my kids, I said, starting to see the full picture. Stop your talk, small guy. Raise your arm here and I'll show you your place, Goliath yelled back. Everyone cheered for Goliath, sure he would win. I had no choice but to put my arm up against his huge arm. We gripped hands tight. No slipping allowed. Before we started, the ref, Kevin Saunders, went over the rules again. Behind me, I heard Stacy tell Goliath not to hurt me. She meant not to kill me, like I said he wanted, or just not to hurt me in the match. I didn't care much or have time to think. I pushed as hard as I could. Our hands didn't move. It felt like pushing against steel. He had a friend time 30 seconds, which felt like forever. Then he said loudly, I'll teach you what real muscle is, small guy. He grinned and pushed my hand down hard. My hand and wrist shook as I tried so hard to push back. It wasn't enough. Like in slow motion, my wrist hit the pad as the ref called the match for the big guy. The room went wild with cheers for him beating the loud husband. I stepped back for a bit, took deep breaths, and shook my arms to shake off the loss. Let's go again, I said, putting my arm back on the table. The big guy laughed right in my face. You don't get it, do you? Quick muscles don't use air. No deep breath will save you. By the end of the night, your wife will be too tired for me. She'll get every bit of that $20,000, he boasted. The room roared again, loving his words. His talk made me even madder. I tried to calm that anger and focus. Kevin told us to start again. He was all smiles. I pushed against him with all I had. I used the peg and twisted my hips to push harder. After about 10 seconds, he started to push down to win again. My hand was shaking, full of adrenaline. He had pushed me a bit down when I felt something change. It was weird. It was like he had no more to give. My arm stopped shaking and stayed strong. I yelled out as I pushed with everything. I was breathing hard. Then it happened. His hand moved down as I kept pushing. The room went quiet as they saw me pushing the big guy's hand down to his side of the table. I almost felt his energy drain as he got weaker against my strength. When the ref hit his hand to call the win, it was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. The shock was like nothing else. He jumped back from the table yelling, "No!" He couldn't believe I beat him. That was just luck. You're going down, kid. I'll crush you like a bug. No more games. Let's go, he yelled. He threw his jacket off and ripped his shirt apart. His muscles shone in the light, making every guy jealous. Well, every guy but me. He pulled his arms back like a big, angry hero and yelled out loud. He was mad about losing. Watching him lose his cool made me smile. He slammed his elbow on the table, ready for the last round. One of us was going to lose for good. He was sure it wouldn't be him. I didn't mind his showing off. I've seen it all before. I took a deep breath to get more oxygen in my blood before the next round. I wanted to do this quickly before he could get his energy back. Kevin did his job and started us off. I knew Goliath's mad rush would make him use all his power at once to stop what happened before. He screamed and pushed my arm hard. I just had to hold on and wait him out. My arm was so close to losing. My hand and arm shook from trying to hold on against his big push. It was hard to keep up with him. Then I heard someone cheer for Goliath from behind. "Go, Goliath! Beat him! Show the kid who's boss here! End him so I can have you close! Do it now!" Stacy urged. The crowd got loud at Stacy's words, full of excitement. But Stacy didn't think about how her words would make me mad. My body got a new rush of energy. I let out a big grunt as power filled me up. We had been stuck, but now our hands started to move the other way. I felt him start to lose as I pushed harder. Our hands went over and down toward the pad. He tried to twist more, looking for more push, but it didn't work. With everything I had, I pushed his wrist down. Kevin called it, "I won." I beat Goliath 2 times out of 3. It was done. All went quiet as Goliath said, "How? How did you do that? I've never lost to someone your size. I need to know," he begged. "I'll tell you if you agree to 2 things," I said. "Say them," he gave in. "First, give me the money. I won all $40,000 before I talk. Second, let me leave here after I say it with no one stopping me. Do you agree?" I asked. I wanted to ask the crowd for help, thinking maybe someone would help me later tonight. Goliath said, "Yes, give him the money, Justin." I put on my jacket and got the cash from Justin quickly to stash it. "I want everyone to know Mr. Bostic won right and fair. Like it or not, he's not to be messed with. After he talks, he can go without trouble." Goliath stood firm. Stacy just stood there, too shocked to speak. I could tell the man was fibbing. Only one of his thugs was close by. I guess the others were outside waiting to jump me. Feeling a bit better for now, I started to explain. All my life I've worked on farms or on building sites. I've always been lifting heavy stuff. It's been like that non-stop for years. My arms might not look big and muscly like some of you guys here, but what muscle I do have lets me keep going. I've got a lot of staying power and strength, too. When I joined the Marines, I spent a couple of years with the 12th Marine Regiment at Camp Hansen in Okinawa, Japan, and at Camp Majok in South Korea near Pohang by the sea. We had a lot of free time, but we couldn't stray far from base, so we had to get creative to keep ourselves busy with a lot of guys around. Things got pretty lively. Arm wrestling became a big thing to help us chill and have some fun. We even sorted out weight groups. The top guy from one group would try his luck with the bigger guys to see how far he could go. I did arm wrestling for a year and never lost. Once, a doctor on the base checked me out to see how I was beating guys a lot bigger than me. He figured out my arms are mostly made of slow twitch muscles, the kind good for long tasks. Heavy lifters have fast twitch muscles for quick, strong moves. My arms may not be as strong, but they can keep going because they stay powered by air. I won against you, not by raw strength, but by lasting longer as your muscles tired out. They called me Army in the Marines for 2 big reasons. Army means tough, and my arm was famous for being strong, so there you go. That's my story. Now I'll head out and let you all do your thing tonight. Where's my phone? I asked. They gave me an envelope and I tore it open while looking at everyone. They seemed nice. I started walking to the door. They were all quiet, still in shock. Then Stacy yelled after me. "Babe, this is great! Wait, I'll drive us home," she said. "We need to talk." I heard someone mutter, "Yeah, right." Another said, "Talking won't fix her mess." "I'll wait outside. Go get dressed before we head home," I told her. She thought that meant I might talk. I just wanted time to make a break for it. She went to change while I moved fast to the front door. "Stay alert, Marine," I told myself, looking outside. No one was there, so I ran out to find Hal. When he saw me, he flashed his car lights. He was watching out for me. A true Marine buddy. As I ran to his car, 3 guys came at me from behind an SUV. They started to run my direction. Marines are always running, maybe not fast, but enough to beat most folks. I left those 3 behind and jumped into Hal's car. Hal didn't hang around and zoomed off from the place, kicking up dust. By some luck, I got away with all my night's memories still with me. "I swear I didn't leave you by yourself, Army," Hal said fast. "A bunch of tough guys kicked me out and threw my phone out. They said it was a private thing and I wasn't asked to come. So I waited for you, ready to stay all night. In fact, I thought about calling the cops, but since no one else came out, I thought you were still okay. Seeing those men chasing you, it didn't look good. So what went down and where to now? He asked. To my spot, I told him. Then I laid out the whole story of the night. Hal was totally shocked. He couldn't believe Stacy would stab me in the back like that, and the whole drug thing blew his mind. He just shook his head at her turning on me. What do you need me to do? Hal asked as we stopped in front of my place. Let's park behind. Stacy might show up soon. If she's alone, I'll deal with her while I pack. I hope you'll let me stay at your place for a bit until I figure things out. You got it. My place is yours, but I've only got a spare couch in my tiny apartment. The couch is fine, thanks. If Stacy shows up alone before I go, I'll face her tonight and tell her I'm out. If she brings her muscle, I'll sneak out the back and head to your place with you. Hold up. I've got an idea. I grabbed the money from my pockets and stuffed it into an old fast food bag in his car. We hid the bag under the spare tire in his trunk. I might need some help. You got your gun? Dumb question, Hal mumbled, taking it out from his console. He slid the gun in its holster into the waistband of his pants and came in with me. I was packing 2 bags and closing the last one when we heard the lock on the front door open. Hal hid in the closet as Stacy rushed in to see me. I'm so glad you're here. I was so scared you'd be gone. I'm really sorry. We need to talk, she said. Sorry now? Did you come alone, or are the 5 guys you were with here too? I asked sharply. It's just us, she said, flinching. I mean it. I'm sorry for what happened. I got too caught up. I was meant to get the guys excited, but I guess I did too much. I gave a cold smile. Why get them excited? They had already paid. You weren't going to get more from them. I thought I knew why. It was to get her name out there for more chances later. Like that video of you alone. I wonder if you could see your face in it. Goliath wanted me to make the guys go wild for me. He thought I'd be a good distraction, Stacy said. I hoped you'd win, but I had to make sure we'd get some money to start our family. You were so good. You beat Goliath. You proved them all wrong. You saved me from a bad night, honey. Now all the $40,000 is ours, and I'm so happy to be just with you tonight, she said, trying to win me over. I didn't buy it. That's not how it went down, Stacy. I heard you cheering for Goliath. Go on, Goliath, beat him. Show who's boss here. Win so I can be with you. I remember, I said, not letting her off easy. She looked down, showing some shame. I was playing both sides, she confessed. After we split, you can do whatever with anyone. No fuss for me, I spat out. Split up? You can't mean it. All of tonight was to get us cash to start our family, right? I want to have your kids' army, not Goliath's or anyone else's. Goliath said you'd lose and forget all about tonight. Come morning. Yes, split up. You'd always be someone who cheated, whether I forgot or not. And you'd do it again. You cheated, Stacy. You did stuff with those guys today and worse. You were okay with me being held and drugged. I said they'd have to off me before I let them wipe my memory. And you still went with it? That's your main worry now, too, that I not recall your wild night. It's all clear to me now that I picked the wrong woman. I did not cheat on you. I didn't sleep with anyone. Even ex-President Clinton says oral is not sex. Can you hear yourself? You let every man there touch you. You let Goliath touch you. While I watched, he told how you two did nearly everything but sleep together. And you think that's not cheating? Call it what you want, Stacy. But to me, it's cheating. You broke our marriage and your vows. And the only reason you're not with that jerk now is because he lost to me in arm wrestling. He was fuming mad. You'd be all over him right now and all night if it wasn't for me. And those jerks from before would beat me up and make me forget everything. I'll never trust you again. No way. We're having a kid. Divorce is the only path for me, I said, anger boiling. She cried a lot. No, you can't mean it. You're just mad. I won't give up on us, Army. We're meant to be, she sobbed. Then a knock came from the front door. Why don't you check who it is, darling? Stacy asked, wiping her tears, acting sweet again. I don't care who it is, I said, knowing it was trouble. I guessed it was the thugs coming back to finish what they started, and I wasn't about to let them get close. I'll check, she said, acting kind. She took my cell off the charger in the bedroom on her way. "Stay where you can hear me," I whispered to Hal and stepped out. "Here he is, guys," Stacy said as she let the 5 thugs and a big guy into the house. "Got his phone. He can't record us or call for help," she lied. But I was recording. I had started a pen recorder when Stacy went to open the door, catching everything. "Just hold him and make it look like a robbery," Stacy told them. "What's this? Get out of my house," I shouted. "I'm sorry, love, but you can't remember tonight. I can't lose you," Stacy said. The guys by the door smiled. "It'll be way easier if you just drink what Ralph made and sleep. You'll wake up like it was before, happy and married. But we'll have $20,000. I told Goliath I'd give him the other 20 if he helped me make you forget, even though you won tonight." "And if I don't?" I asked, tough. "Please, love. They will hurt you, beat you up and make you drink it. Then they'll make it look like a bad robbery. It ends the same, but you'll be hurt." "So you thought this up on the way here?" I said. She nodded that they made a quick plan. "Well, you must not have thought about this." As they moved into the room and tried to spread out, thinking I'd try to run, I showed my Glock 17. "Everyone stay put. I really don't want to shoot, but I won't shoot just one of you. If I shoot, I'll hit 3 of you, and the others can see if they want to press on the wounds until help comes." They stopped. They hadn't guessed I'd have a gun. "You wouldn't shoot," Goliath said, thinking he was tough. "You might hit 1 or 2, but the rest will jump." "You want to try?" I said, almost smiling. I was in the Marines. Still am, in a way. Once a Marine, always one. They teach us about guns well. I'm top-notch with a pistol. I know I can hit each of you in the gut before you get close. I aim there to make it hurt, not kill. Now sit down." "Why should we?" "This way we might make it," one of the bad guys spoke up. "You have no shot," I said, "but you standing there makes me feel scared. I really don't want to make noise in here. It's loud. 1 shot and our ears will buzz. And like I said, I won't just shoot once. I might take you all out. Actually, I will if any of you make a move I don't like. If you want to talk, sit. If not, I'm calling the cops. You pick." They sat down. I told them to slide back in the sofa and chairs they were in. That way, if they tried to get up, I'd know and start shooting. Once they were seated, I sat across from them on a kitchen chair I had set there before. My gun was on my leg, my finger right next to the trigger. "Ready?" "Listen, honey," Stacy said. "Hand over the $20,000 and take the drug. When you wake up, we'll be good. Just $20,000 richer." "How would you explain the cash?" I asked. "Easy. You won $40,000 and gave me half to keep. You got mugged after leaving the gym. These guys might have to leave a mark to sell it, but you'd wake up still loving me, and we'd have our whole lives." I started to laugh. The men seemed uneasy. Stacy looked confused and started to rise. "Go and take his gun," Goliath said. "He won't shoot you. He loves you." "He's half right," I said. "I did love you, but I won't hurt you. Instead, I'll shoot 3 of these fools the moment you stand." I lifted the gun from my knee. She looked shocked and sat back down. "My laugh was because you're really dumb. You can't think at all," I said. "Let's go back to earlier tonight. You heard this big guy here?" I pointed at Goliath. "Say he'd leave me with no memory. You thought you'd come back, say you won some contest, and I'd believe it. Really? You think I wouldn't look into a contest with that much money even if I couldn't remember anything? But you fell for his lies. Totally. They planned to erase my memory after it all, even if it meant beating me until I forgot. They couldn't mess with my mind before the contest. They needed to keep you happy and acting wild till it was all over. The only reason they kept me going was because I told everyone I was in trouble. They might have told you different, but you were never going to see any of that money. They'd take me and drug me like they said. You were being set up, and I bet not just by Goliath, but by all of them. They'd recorded and threatened to show me the video of you if you ever spoke up. They planned to use you whenever they wanted, anytime they came to the gym. They'd take you aside and make you do things. It was all a trap to control you. You were meant to be their plaything. That prize money was a lie." Stacy shook her head, not wanting to believe me, and started to argue. They were satisfied with what they got. "Just think about a few things," I said. "First, you made a video for him to spread around to drum up interest. I hope your face wasn't in it, but I doubt you thought of that. He'd have to share it a lot to get 40 replies. How many will pass it on? Soon, someone you know might see it. Congrats. You're already in a porn video." Stacy looked shocked. It seemed she hadn't thought of that. I couldn't believe she hadn't. One more thing. Who had the idea to bring me here tonight and made sure I came? I asked. Stacy said it was Goliath's idea. So, Gerald, you were planning to cheat on me, right? You wanted to sleep with Stacy while I watched before you made me forget it all? I said it'd be exciting, but Goliath was the one who really wanted you there, Stacy said. He wanted to make sure we could control you. Oh, he definitely wanted me under control, but not just to see me upset. That was just a bonus for him because he likes to cause pain. But he had other plans too. I was there for a few reasons. First, he needed time to sleep with you a lot. Not just him, but these other guys too. He was going to film it. Having you enjoy it in front of me, even bragging, would be great for blackmail. It would be hard for you to deny it later. No matter what you said, the way you acted would be proof. The second reason was about keeping me in the dark. He knew I'd be home, worried about where you were. He didn't want me to come looking for you or call the police. And when you came back upset from what happened, he didn't want me doing anything rash. He figured I'd be too out of it, hungover and confused. Plus, he needed his blackmail to keep you in line. Like I said, this wasn't going to be a one-time thing, and he was never going to give you any money. So you'd be really upset after you shared his plans. Goliath had you go and join in with everyone, not just dancing, which would have been enough, but letting people touch you. I doubt those guys were really put off their game by it. No, it was more like showing you off for future events. Goliath already planned to use you. He might have to say he won't play next time to get others to join in, thinking they can win without him, always taking the top prize. It's a quicker way to make cash than doing bad things bit by bit, but down the line he'd likely push you into that as well. Now this is just a guess, but that small sofa in the office seems too tiny for a big group thing. They probably have a hotel room booked somewhere nearby. They must have set up cameras there and got things ready at the gym. They'd have a spot to clean you up a bit between rounds, but it wouldn't be as close to where everything's happening. I can't see these guys being okay with going after someone else. Goliath got a room at the Sunrise Motel, Stacy said, glancing at Goliath, who was giving me a dirty look. She seemed to shake her head like she was starting to see things clearly, wondering if she'd been tricked. Right. But I beat their plans. I won the contest and escaped. I thought there'd be guys waiting in the parking lot to catch me. Probably had a couple more in the office in case I was foolish enough to go back there with you while changing. They made new plans and came here to push their agenda again. You were so keen on getting my memory erased that you jumped in without thinking after getting their money. They'd have their way with you, likely every way possible, but do it in our bed this time while I was out cold here. I think they'd threaten me to make sure you seemed happy and totally in with it while they taped it. You'd have to act like you wanted it. At the gym, you seemed up for it, happy to be with them. First with Goliath and then the others when he said so. I wonder if you'd still be up for it, even though I won. Is that another thing they promised you besides the cash for erasing my memory, or would they need to push you a bit? I said I'd be with Goliath if he helped, but not the others, Stacy said in a low voice. So they just wait out here playing games until Goliath was done. That's funny, I laughed. Wow, you really don't see it, do you? You think they'd do all this if they weren't going to win big? They'd take turns, and it'd end the same way. They wouldn't leave you a cent with a video to hold over you. They'd own you till they got bored. All that talk about making you work for them? It would happen. And this is even better for them. If I got hurt, I'd have to make up some story about falling down drunk. But I've never been so drunk I blacked out. I'd ask questions. A party with a woman offering herself would be tough to hide. Maybe they thought I'd be dumb and not look into it. But they were willing to take that risk. And then I won against Goliath, like the David and Goliath story from the Bible. Out here, though, it'd be easy to say how I got hurt. I just won $40,000, so it would make sense if someone followed me and robbed me. No one would guess who did it except for you. Stacy, you'd keep quiet because you'd be scared. I'd find out your secret. It's a better plot than their first idea. I wouldn't guess I'd been drugged. Just think my memory loss was from the beating. And your thought of a black eye and lip. No way they'd make it look real. It had to match their story. They'd really beat me up. Maybe break some ribs, lots of head kicks. That means a hospital trip and maybe serious injuries. But now, without your part of the money, we'd have no way to pay for it. Well, We wouldn't have before because you wouldn't have gotten it then either. Falling down at the gym could have knocked me in the head. That explains why I was upset after drinking too much. The best story here is that I was robbed. They'd never find the money since I didn't bring it home. Imagine if you made me forget where I hid it before telling them. Even without the cash, Goliath would still want to beat me up. He'd even lend you the money for the hospital. But you'd have to pay him back in a way I don't like. That could trap you more. If you need money, he might push you into doing things you don't want. You'd stay on birth control, so no baby. At the gym, I said out loud you'd never have my child if you stopped birth control. It wouldn't be mine. Stacy looked shocked. Also, you thinking to keep the $20,000 I gave you and me getting robbed doesn't work. 42 people saw me leave with all the money. No thief would leave you with anything. How am I doing, guys? I smiled. How did a simple soldier beat us? Goliath was mad. Stacy was scared, seeing how she was tricked. Just because I didn't go to college doesn't make me dumb, I said. The Marines taught me to think. You have to be ready to lead if you need to. Seeing your 5 muscle guys made me think it was too much. You saying you controlled them because they couldn't handle you was a dumb thing to say. Or were you trying to say they wouldn't fight you anyway? You couldn't make them do things when you weren't around. They all had to worry if one would talk and mess up your whole plan. I'm thinking you're all tight friends. You get along and maybe go fishing or something. I bet you talked about a girl you liked. You just couldn't get her to cheat fully. So with these guys, you made a plan. These guys weren't just in it for the money since the share would be little. Who would do big wrongs for that? Or just to help a buddy cheat, even for a night with a hot woman? Plus, what if their own wives found out? The prize had to be big. And how do you tell your wives you're out all night? I bet you all said you were on a fishing trip or some overnight thing. Suddenly, Goliath grabbed Stacy and pulled her in front. All right, jerk. You said she loved you enough to act happy to keep us from hurting you. Yeah, we planned all that. Even telling her you'd never be a dad. Or maybe not walk or have sex after we were done with you. If she changed her mind, we needed her to keep smiling for us. How much do you love her? Put down the gun, or I'll break her neck, Goliath said. I see you're thinking you aren't going to shoot me and risk hitting her. No, I'm not, I said. I'm going to start shooting these guys, and you killing her will be the perfect reason. Not just me being in danger. I can say watching my wife get killed made me scared for my life. And it would be true. And if she's gone, it would also mean I don't have to divorce her. I'll make sure not to end you, though. I'll hit you in all your big moving parts. Knees, elbows, hands, also your hips and feet. Now let her go. 3, 2... My gun was right at the guy in front of me, and my finger was on the trigger. Damn it, Jerry, let her go now, yelled one of the bad guys. He seemed like the leader, or at least the smart one. This guy is serious. He will shoot us. He looked at me. Okay, let's stop this. Jerry won't hurt the girl. Right, Jerry. He didn't wait for an answer. Just face me again, and you won't shoot and go to jail. You might be tough, but in jail you'd be in trouble. You won't call the cops on us. That's what you want to do, right? You'll let us go. No cash and no girl. You were right about all that. We really planned to make the dumb girl give in to us whenever we wanted. And why wouldn't I call the cops? I asked. We had 42 people see your wife act wild tonight. They thought you were okay with it, that you were making her do it. Of course, you said no later, but that was because she was doing it too well and you got jealous. The killing threat was just talk. Maybe we said we'd beat you for trying to leave, but kill you? No way. That's the story and you can't prove otherwise. Goliath let Stacy go. She gave him a hard look now, scared and mad about how he used her and what he planned for the future. Yes, we'd be caught with sleepy drugs and a camera when the cops looked. We even had a tube to make you drink the booze and drugs. I know you heard Stacy say that earlier. I also have a kit to clean your wife out after we took turns. Some cheek is fine, but too much from all of us? Nah, that's over the top. It's simple, really. Lots of folks have video gear in their cars. We wanted to tape the arm wrestle show, and we did, just with other stuff. Of course, we'd need to tweak the footage. And yeah, I always carry ketamine and more. I'm a vet, and this is my buddy, he said, pointing to his right. We've got a full first aid kit in our rides, always. House calls are our thing, so the gear is normal for us. And about that tube. We used it on a cow, but we cleaned it. Clearly, Stacy won't dare return to her gym job after what we planned, but she can't snitch either. No real proof of our scheme, but there's plenty showing she's easy. She filmed herself, plus tonight's events. You wouldn't want that getting out? Think about a guy letting his wife go like that in a small town. The chatter. "I need that cash," Goliath said. "Just got a new truck. I need it." Well, find another way. You lost the match. That was your chance to explain the $20,000 to your wife. Plus, as Army mentioned, splitting the other cash isn't much for each of us. Not worth big crimes. Stacy was what we were, after all. Anytime. And a woman who couldn't refuse. But Army, you got it wrong saying we'd make her a sex worker. Not happening. At least not soon. Yeah, we had plans for more games with Stacy. Is the prize easy money? But we'd keep the men limited to avoid diseases. Mostly we wanted her to ourselves till we were bored. Likely a few years. She'd keep in shape from the gym. Doing it every day in that way. Wouldn't really break her down. Not in her body, at least. I bet in a year or so she'd start to be okay with her life, with us. Maybe even like it, another guy said. And if she really wants, we'd let her have a kid too. We'd just be careful or use other ways until she gets pregnant. We even thought about giving her some of the cash she makes for us, as tips to keep her happy and keen. The guy next to the boss added, "Or we could just go and leave you and your wife to sort things out. But I don't see how talking it out would fix anything. You won't be able to let it go or forgive. But maybe there's another way. I'll give you some special stuff. A strong kind that with a few drinks should work well. We were thinking of making you drink a lot. If you really care about Stacy, you can take it after we're gone. She won't work at the gym anymore since she knows about our plan, so she won't be in any danger from us. Maybe she'll learn to be less naive and careful about cheating. But if you truly care for her, you could just forget this and move forward. Maybe even start a family." I found their quick plan amusing. Did they really think I'd go for that? It was like giving her a free pass. It's easy to explain the cash. Just tell the truth. You won it in an arm wrestling match. It was a special invite because of her good work, but she had no clue you'd win. Most competitors aren't from around here, so it's unlikely you'd bump into them. And if you did, it's doubtful they'd bring up how your wife was, the guy continued. I acted like his idea made sense. But how could she make up a story for my lost memory? That's a hard one. She'd have to say I got hurt after I blacked out. Maybe tell me we both drank a lot to celebrate, which is why I'd have alcohol in me. I went out to the car but fell down the front steps and hit my head. The issue is I might want to go to a hospital. She'd need a good story to make it sound real. But since we're married, that's a plus. I love her a lot, so I'd believe what she says. Of course, a loving wife would never lie to me. The 6 men couldn't stop laughing at that. He grinned. I wondered if he was thinking about going back to take the money from Stacy later. I suddenly got what else he had in mind, but let him go on. You'd need to take the drug called ketamine soon, like in a few hours, to make sure it cleans out enough of your memory. You might recall planning to hit the gym, but not what happened there. Stacy could make up something for that blank. Now, what to do with Stacy is the issue. I could just leave her and go. That would be the best thing, I said, thinking out loud. Stacy started to plead. She said we had just talked about fixing things, and she swore she'd never do anything like this again. You'd still have been unfaithful, but perhaps you've learned. But here's why taking the drug, even after you all leave, is a problem for me. What if you guys come back and scare Stacy for the money? Or half of it while I'm knocked out? Tell her you'd tell me about her unless she paid, and while you wouldn't have proof, you'd make me doubt and mess up our marriage. She's simple enough to buy that. I saw all of them, including Stacy, shake their heads. I need each of you to say out loud that you'd leave Stacy and me alone for good. One by one, they promised they wouldn't mess with us ever again. They piled on the promises, thinking I was about to free them. So the big issue is Stacy needs to hit me hard to fake my memory loss. She'd have to really beat me up in the right spots to make it look like I fell down the stairs. Maybe even push me down before I knock out. Think you could do that, Stacy? Oh yes, I'd make it look real, Stacy said with a nod. A few hits to the head and maybe the ribs, but not enough to make us go to the hospital. A real fall could break too much, or we could make up a robbery like we thought before. It's not too late to go out. We could say we went to a party, had some drinks, and you'd have booze in you to mix with the drug. Then the tale would be, after we left the place, you got robbed. I know I could tell them 3 guys started to hit you, and I ran to get help. They got scared, jumped in their car, and took off. I came back, helped you up, and brought you home. Then you'd wake up and all would be okay. Plus, the cash would be safe here all the time. I can say I helped you home, but we'd really do my hitting you here at home. That's better than leaving you out like we first thought, she said. Ouch. She was ready to go far if needed. I'd use a pair of your big shoes, and when you're out, hit you in the head a few times. That should explain the memory loss. To make the robbery look real, I'd have to hit you in the ribs and leave marks. I'd maybe have to hit you down there. 2 guys always hit each other. They're in fights, right? Not too hard to leave lasting hurt, but enough to make you think later so you won't get wise. 2 or 3 should be enough. Unless stepping is better than hitting, to make big marks with less hurt. Man, who was this woman? She was ready to give me a beating. The 6 guys were just looking at her. And tomorrow I'd be taking care of you, bringing you ice for your head and down there. Let's do it, honey, Stacy cheered. We'd save our love. We'd have cash for a kid, and I swear I won't cheat again. I've learned, she said after a pause, and that means no kissing others or more since you say that's cheating. She doesn't think it's cheating, I wondered. Plus, you're mad I ruined your hot night. You want Goliath, right? That's on your mind if you hit me. I tried to sound calm. Okay, I'll be true. You'd find out anyway, and since you won't remember... Yes, I wanted him. I felt how strong he was, and I wanted it. It would be crazy, Stacy shared. But you figuring it out scared me. I wouldn't go near him now, so I'm mad at you and at him. Can I hit both of your nuts as a deal to let them go? Goliath got mad and said, No way. I'm being open. You won't recall this talk, but won't remember the bad stuff either. Her red face showed she'd keep this memory and like it. She just missed out on Goliath. Her smile while she talked about hitting me showed how much she wanted to hurt me, as much as breaking my heart to her. It'd be okay if I forgot everything. Now, with all this truth, I have more to ask before I decide to let you go, or let Stacy erase my memory. Stacy and Goliath both agreed quickly. You both said you didn't do it. You were open since you thought I'd forget. Goliath mentioned Stacy wanted me to have a chance, even if small, to win. She didn't think I could do it, like it was no use even trying. So I wondered, did you plan to make me watch you 2 together before you drugged me? You kind of said it both ways. Once you mentioned you guys would drug me somewhere else, I kind of knew the answer, but needed to hear it. Yep. We both liked the idea of making you watch. You wouldn't remember, but Stacy liked the thought of having that control over you. The use of the word control struck me. She looked forward to hurting me after I was out, or maybe even before, just to make me yell and then forget it. I didn't trust her at all now. It was not just me, Stacy jumped in once again, saying too much without understanding. You were the one who thought it'd be exciting if Army saw a real man with me. In a way, he never could. My next question doesn't really matter. But who came up with the idea first? I asked. Goliath didn't wait. Me, but Stacy had ideas to make it even more crazy, like after he was done rubbing herself on you, we'd clean you up before sending you home. Of course, you'd be so dry in the mouth you wouldn't taste a thing. Stacy turned red. All right, one more thing. You said she did stuff for you guys this afternoon as a thank you for helping. Tell me about that. I spoke without showing any feeling. One answered. It was simple. We told her we needed to know she was really okay with all this and wouldn't back out since we couldn't be with her. We asked for something else. She took her clothes off and took care of us twice. Actually, since we all won again. She didn't let us touch her, but she did herself while she was busy with us. She got off a bit while we watched. I just nodded. I acted like it was no big deal. Truth is, by then I was over being mad. I just wanted to know stuff. Okay, so let's get this straight. No one here wants me to start shooting, which, like I said, I will if I must. You don't want me to call the cops? You talked about how this would trash my name, but forgot about having to face your wives. You all got blow, right? I want to know from each of you if you did. I'm looking for the truth here. Tell me. All 5 told me Stacy had done it that afternoon. I wanted more details. She got naked and did a dance for us. One guy started. We sat and she'd bend over, showing us everything. Then, while doing the deed, she shook her backside and played with herself. Each guy added bits to the tale until I could pretty much picture how wild Stacy had been. She must have come 3 or 4 times before she was done. Went around us all twice. So we got to let these guys go, Stacy said. Then we can fix things for us. Hit reset on our marriage. I swear I'll never be tempted again. I barely kept from laughing at her lies. She really thought she could fool everyone. Yeah, after you have a blast smashing my nuts, I said. Oh no, I won't like it. I'll just make it look like a real attack, she replied, going back on her word before. And you guys won't come back trying to get Stacy for the money or more? I asked with a grin. Of course not, the vet said. That'd be dumb. Stacy knows what we wanted and wouldn't let us near. Plus, she'd have your gun. Right, guys? I got a bunch of no's and hell no's. Okay, I've made up my mind. I pulled a cell out of my pocket and with my left hand lifted the gun a bit from my knee to remind them all I'd shoot if pushed. All 7 froze when they saw me pull out another phone. You see, Stacy, these guys won't leave. Or if they do, they won't go far no matter what they say. They'd wait until I take the ketamine and maybe even set up the fake mugging. I bet one might even tell you to call them once I'm drugged so they'll know you've done it and they're safe, I said. Stacy looked shocked. And you'd be fooled to tell them I took the drug. If I was fooled enough to really take it, then they'd share their full plan with you, I said. She asked me what that plan was. They already got you. They have enough dirt to use you. You heard them talk about that thing. Do you really think they didn't film every bit of it? I said. Now they wanted more, I added. You kept saying blowing them wasn't cheating. They couldn't risk you sticking to that and telling me they were trying to use you. Only admitting to blowing them and letting them watch you. Now that they and you know I think blowing is as bad as sex, they got all they need. As soon as you tell them I took the drug, they'd show up, ask for money first, then you. We'd be back where we started. You under their thumb and me clueless, I said with a smirk. I could have acted like I took it, pretended to pass out and waited for them to come and make their demands. That would make catching them easy. But you might have wanted to hide my gun, or one of these fools could have made me start shooting. Seeing the shock on the leader's face, Goliath started yelling about how no damn Marine should have outsmarted them. So where's the film? I asked. I know it's in one of your pockets. Stacy may be easy to fool, but she won't just believe you without seeing proof. It's in my camera by the front door, the vet said, leading them. He refused to get it, fearing I might shoot. He was told to crawl or have Jerry do it. No way! I ain't crawling for no one, Jerry yelled. Stacy decided to get it herself. She got the camera out, took out the SD card, and threw it to me. Does this save on the card or the hard disk? I asked. When the vet said both, I knew I didn't need to delete anything. I just wanted a copy of her cheating. The rest is your issue, I told them, leaving them stunned. Stacy seems okay with her videos out there, so why should I care about this one? She has the camera. It's her choice what to do with it. I'm more interested in the video of her alone. Then I dialed 911, gave my info, and told them about the 6 men my wife brought to attack me. I had them held at gunpoint. I said there was no need for an ambulance yet, but that could change. The men were mad. Why? You said we could leave. You got the camera back. Could have wiped it all. No dirt left on us, the vet said. Stacy's eyes were wide with shock. Well, my marriage is trash because of you jerks, so it's payback time. Let's see if your wives buy your lies as fooled as mine was. They all froze. 3 guys squirmed a bit. I lifted my gun, pointing at them, my finger dancing near the trigger. Don't try anything. This gun's quick to fire, needs less force than usual. And Stacy told you trust is gone. You were too keen on crushing me to say it was just a robbery. I smirked. Hal, come here. Hal stepped out. He's heard it all. I've been on the phone with 911. This whole chat's recorded. Hope the phone caught your voices. Got a backup recording too? It's just hearsay, one shouted. I shrugged. Still counts as a statement. Courts might not take it, but your wives will hear it. Now, I needed my gun more than ever, waving it around to keep them back. Some looked ready to jump me despite it. Hal, go outside. Tell the cops to come in. Tell them I'll drop the gun when you say. They'll take us all. You're clear. Lock up. I handed him an SD card. Got it, he said. I asked him to make sure everything was locked up after. Okay, I said, nodding to my jacket on a table near us. Then come to the cop place to help and talk about what you saw. He agreed. We heard loud cop cars coming. The 911 lady said, "Cops are here." I told her my buddy was at the door. It was not locked. And where I was in the room, I would have a gun in my other hand, holding it by the top part. I knew the first cop who came in. Hal did too, because he was his big brother, Bob, a cop boss. "What's up here, Army?" "First, put the gun down and move away." I did what he said. I saw his camera was on. Well, my wife was not loyal today. She was too close with these 5 guys and had plans with this one. They wanted to make me forget with a big dose of a drug and booze. When I stopped their plan, they came from Kensington to try again. My wife, Stacy, let them in. She gave them my phone so I couldn't record. "It's in that big guy's pocket," I said, pointing at Goliath. "That should prove they were up to no good. You might want to get that phone. It would be bad if it got lost. Ridiculous. We brought Stacy here after her husband left her in Kensington after he won at arm wrestling. She asked us to celebrate his win. This guy is crazy. He thinks we are with his wife and even told the people at the game he was scared for his life," the main bad guy said. I asked Bob to take us to the police station so we can all tell our sides and make it official. He quickly told me he knew his job without my help. I smiled. Soon, all of us were in cuffs and in different cop cars. Hal told Bob he'd follow after he locked up and made the place safe. We thought he'd save a copy of the video online and on my computer. I guessed he'd save more copies than that at the police station. I quickly told Bob what went down that night and what I thought they were up to. I said to check the guys and to look at the case at my house for sleep drugs and a camera where he'd find a video of Stacy with the men in a bad way. He gave me coffee and started to hear what the others had to say. "Army, these guys all say you're nuts. You showed up, won at arm wrestling, and when they came to your place because Stacy asked, you pointed a gun and yelled crazy stuff. One's a lawyer and wants to help them, but since he's in trouble too, he can't go tell the others what to do. They're all writing down their side now. Got any proof?" "I can't look at the camera files without a court order, but I kept it," he told me. I let him know Hal has a recording of them spilling the beans and is making more copies. That tape changed the game fast. When Stacy found out we had it, she started crying and flipped her story to say how she got tricked into cheating and how the guys planned to use her badly. An officer came with Hal and me back to my place with my okay. They didn't need a special paper from the court. They grabbed the small case left by one of the thugs at my door. Inside, apart from the camera Stacy took before, there were 2 bottles of booze, sleep drugs, 2 big tubes of lube, and some nasty-looking bendy hoses. The video they got off the camera was clear. It showed my soon-to-be ex-wife in a bad scene with all 5 thugs and Goliath. Clearly not okay. She was talking big about loving the nasty stuff and how she couldn't wait to get with Goliath after they handled her husband. Bob might have bent the rules, but he let me see the video at the station. By then, I had my own copy to watch later. Early Sunday morning, he had enough proof to keep Stacy, Goliath, and all 5 bad guys in jail until Monday. I kept the SD card I took hidden. Well, Bob told Hal and me to stay close. I told him I'd be just a call away. Then I ignored him and left town on Sunday. I paid for 2 cheap round-trip flights to Las Vegas. Hal and I went to many betting places there. We picked up all the losing bet slips we could find on the ground and in trash bins. I was shocked by how many games there were on a Sunday, even though I didn't need that much. We kept going until we had about $40,000 worth. Once Stacy saw I was really leaving her, I was sure she'd come for the money, wanting half. I wasn't going to give her a cent if I could avoid it. I planned to say I'd lost most of it. Hal and I had a crazy time. We took a taxi to 4 private clubs that first night and took photos with the clubs behind us. We made up a story about how we took a few thousand and gave it to the hard-working girls there. We'd say we wanted to give it to real working gals, not a cheat like Stacy. We found some empty liquor bottles, filled them partly with soda and water, and took photos pretending to be drunk, making faces at the camera, holding our bottles and some shots, and pretending to drink mixed drinks and others. According to our photos, we had a wild time in Vegas. We also gave some money to folks collecting for a kids' cancer hospital. We came back wearing the sweatshirts you get for donating over $100. Of course, we said we gave them $1,000 each. Monday, my cell phone blew up with loads of calls. I didn't know any of the numbers, so I ignored them. I thought 1 or 2 texts might be from Stacy's folks if she called them for help. One message read, "I told you to stay close. Now pick up or ring back. I'm going to get mad at both of you, Bob." We rang him back. He had used his wife's phone, so there was no record of his call. We said we just needed some time off, and he told us to head home. Bob gave us a talking to when we got back Monday night, taking us to the DA's office. We said nobody told us we had to stay in town just nearby, and we took that to mean all over the US since our last trip was to Asia. After all, we weren't locked up and said we could be called. Neither Bob nor the DA liked the excuse. The DA wanted to hear my side again, so I repeated the story. My story matched the audio recording. I had listened to it all on the way back from Vegas. I was sure now more than ever that I was done with Stacy. I met with the first lawyer who could see me quickly. My dad had given me the number after he was mad about Vegas. Bob had called him looking for me. I wanted to break up with Stacy quick and get her the papers ASAP. Mr. Price said a simple split would cost about $2,000, but splitting up was the least of my worries. Then I talked about the whole mess and said I went a bit crazy and lost, or gave away nearly all the cash I'd won arm wrestling. He laughed and said, given the situation, I might not have to split that cash with Stacy anyway. But since it was gone, it wasn't an issue. Price shook his head. "Kid, you've been reading too many tales. You did too much too fast. The split isn't your big problem, nor is the cash being gone. When your house catches fire, you don't call the guy who fixes homes. First, you put out the fire. Then you think about insurance and much later, fixing what got ruined. Your wife and 6 guys face big charges like hitting someone and holding them against their will. Planning bad stuff together and more that the DA might add. They're also in trouble for trying to sell humans. That's a huge crime. Your divorce seems tiny compared to this mess right now. Wait a couple of days and we'll deal with it. I'll help you through." Tuesday morning, I looked for a new place to live. I found a good, cheap apartment close to work. I didn't even have to pay up front. My folks would have let me come back, but I'm too used to being on my own now, and I couldn't stay in the same house as Stacy. By then, everyone in our small town had heard bits of the story. There were lots of whispers. Usually, whispers make things sound worse, but this time they were actually less shocking. Rumors said Stacy was seeing her boss who threatened me. I supposedly pulled a gun on him until the cops came. After getting out of jail, Stacy didn't go back to her parents, so I moved out to keep away from her new guy. I decided it was best to keep quiet about the real story for now. My lawyer said to wait before sharing my tapes. Not even the 7 charged knew all I had on them. Wednesday, my phone started ringing with numbers I didn't know. I ignored them after the first few were just friends trying to pry into what went down. The 4th call was from Gloria Jenkins. A text from the same number said, "Mr. Bostic, I am Gloria Jenkins, Gerald Jenkins' wife. Please call me back and tell me what's happening." I found it strange that Goliath's wife had no clue about the trouble. She picked up the phone quickly. "Mr. Bostic, good to hear from you. All Gerald keeps saying is it's a huge setup. You're saying there's bad stuff going on but no proof. That makes me think there's something fishy. Can we meet face to face?" I had some free time, so I drove over to Kensington to meet her. I brought Hal's sneaky recording pin just in case. The lady waiting for me, who said her name was Gloria as soon as I walked in the cafe door, was stunning. She had a natural beauty that didn't need the bit of makeup she had on. She gave me a bright smile and a firm handshake. Gloria was a slim blonde who looked to be in her late 20s. I found out later she was actually a bit older than me, 28, just a few seconds into talking. Her friendly front couldn't fully hide her worry, but I reminded myself to stay sharp. It was still up in the air if she was in trouble or trouble herself. After all, she was married to Goliath and might back him up no matter what. I asked what she wanted to know. She spilled the beans. All she knew was her husband and 5 of his buddies got caught after a fight at my place, where I had to pull a gun on them. I had said they were up to something with my wife, but Jerry said it was all made up. I'm being fed lies, Mr. Bostic, and I'm not happy about it. I've talked to the other guys' wives, and they're in the dark too. We just want to know what's really happening. Jerry is, well, Jerry, and that's my own mess to sort out. Can you fill me in?" I knew she had a way of getting people to open up. "Sure. I was planning on letting you and the wives and girlfriends of those 5 thugs know the full story." "Thugs?" she asked. "Yeah, Goliath's 5 big friends who tried to scare me off until I showed them my pistol." "Call me Army," I said with a smile. And let's ask those 3 ladies to come over here. They can hear what I'm going to say directly. They can even ask their own questions instead of just listening to it later. When Gloria wanted to know how I knew who the ladies were since she was the one recording our talk, I shared my thoughts. There were 3 ladies looking sharp, sitting away from us. They weren't really talking much to each other. Instead, they kept sneaking looks our way, trying not to get caught. They've been eyeing us since I came in, trying to act like they're not interested. Plus, you moved your purse to the top of the table. That's not what most do. I waved to the 3 women, inviting them over. "You've got good eyes, mister." "Army," Gloria noted as the ladies walked over a bit shy. "He saw you guys. He was going to spill the beans anyway," she said. One of the ladies asked softly if it was really as bad as they feared. "Well, for you, maybe not for me. It's the end of my marriage. Basically, a guy named Jerry has been after my wife. He got pretty far with everything but going all the way. He and his friends coerced her into stuff on Saturday. They were planning on taking it further, then forcing her to keep doing what they wanted," I shared, watching their faces go from shocked to mad, then back to disbelief. There were quite a few hushed swears. "Gosh, now it makes sense why the cops held on to them so long. They were released this morning and have been with their lawyer," Gloria added. "I'm guessing you have proof, even though they're claiming you don't." I pulled out a small USB drive from my pocket. "I have lots of audio recorded. There's a lot of stuff in the middle that doesn't matter much. Let me tell you the quick version, then you can hear it." After I was done, one lady couldn't believe it. "Wow, your wife thinks that, and she made a video for others. Crazy and cheating. Fine if you don't remember because of drugs." I nodded, and so did the other ladies. They weren't shocked by what their husbands did. "Not me," said one lady. "My husband loves himself too much. My mom warned me he'd do something bad, like cheat. When we heard about a mad husband with a gun, we guessed it was something bad, but this was worse than we thought." Gloria suggested we go to her office to hear the recording. She works in investing, and her office was close by. We skipped over a long arm wrestling part when we listened. In the end, we were all really mad. "Like, I'm going to learn from him." One lady was really angry. "If he tries anything, I'll bite it off." She grinned and laughed. "I could say it was self-defense with that tape. He said I was bad at it, so it was his risk." We all laughed. All the ladies made quick calls. None lasted long. "Here's some background," Gloria said. "Jerry and the 5 others have been close since high school. They loved bodybuilding. In college, they acted like wild young guys, not really partying, just chasing girls and lifting weights. They didn't drink much or mess with drugs. Yep, they were good-looking, a bit snooty. But they had self-control and were smooth talkers. They had their fun with lots of girls. I know we were just too silly thinking it would stop with us. Us girls hung out and chatted because of them. Those guys were close. To be blunt, they stick to each other more than to any of us wives. That's a big reason none of us have kids. We all do well with money, but our married life isn't great. We ladies just hit it off. Well, we're like moons circling our husband's buddy act." "I got to know you, Army," Gloria whispered when the rest had left, promising to catch up later. "I heard you're a former Marine. Jerry called you a simple-minded Marine, but you're clearly anything but. You don't flaunt fancy degrees, but you speak well. You've got the smarts to catch on to their game and flip it. Yet you stick to a simple job that doesn't pay much. Why stay so below what you could do?" I just shrugged. I tried to explain that after coming back from serving, I wanted to be near my folks. She asked if they were sick or needed steady help. I shook my head. The truth is, my folks were on my case for choosing to stick around the small town. They said they didn't need me close by, almost in their space. I could live a fair bit away and it'd still be close, but I just settled in. It was home and I didn't want to leave again. Hal was in the same spot. His brother was high up in the police, yet Hal took an easy, low-paid job. "You heard me say there wasn't much going on while I was away," I said. "We weren't just flexing muscles all the time. I read a ton, anything I could find. I really got into mystery books and would try to spot any slips in the plot. Guess what the people in the book would do next? Guess it kept my mind sharp." Gloria chuckled. "I really liked her laugh more than I should have, and it made me feel bad. My marriage was done, but I was still tied to it. This fun lady with me was in the same boat. I felt my cheeks get hot and made up a reason to go. I told Gloria she could ring me whenever. I couldn't wait, but I wasn't going to say that. Stacy came after me fast after she called and texted a ton, asking to talk and fix what went wrong so we could keep our marriage. I gave in. "Okay, Stacy, why do you think there's been a mix-up and we can save what's between us?" I said. When I met her, she looked shocked. "You said it loud and clear the other night that you didn't see a problem with your actions. To you, flirting, kissing, and getting handsy with another while doing the same to him wasn't being unfaithful. Even doing more with the guy and his friends wasn't crossing a line. You were up for more as long as I didn't know." Stacy started to ramble, saying she didn't mean any harm. She just got swept away because a good-looking guy like Goliath was into her. "So if another appealing guy shows up, you might slip again, right?" I asked, my words dripping with sarcasm. "And you were cool with hurting me, going as far as being with him right in front of me, teasing me, making me feel small, laughing and telling your new guy to show me up. Then act like wiping my memory would fix it. No big deal." My voice was steady. No anger. Just a strong sense of being wronged. Stacy went through her excuses and finally said she was in the wrong. "But I want you, Army. I want to be the mom of your kids. It was just for kicks, and I know I gambled big. I thought if you didn't find out, it'd be okay. And I believed you'd never find out. Yeah, you'd know by night, but then forget it all. Like it never happened. But you'd know, you'd remember, and keep it in mind. Later, if we fight, you'd think, 'I showed you, jerk,' I said with teeth clenched." Stacy looked shocked. "What about talking to someone like therapy?" Stacy suggested. I asked if she wanted her own copy of what she and the others said last Saturday. I said if she still thinks it's okay after hearing that tape, we could talk. But I wasn't ready to think therapy could fix us. No way to forgive, I just couldn't. But I was curious what she'd say to a therapist, what the therapist would say back. Next Saturday, Gloria invited me to a dinner. She and the other wives, plus the girlfriends of 2 single guys, wanted to meet. I wanted to see Gloria, but didn't fully trust it. I worried Jerry or his buddies might come. I hid a small gun under my shirt. "Happy you're here tonight, Army. I hoped you'd trust me enough to come," she said warmly. "If it were me, I might suspect a trap." Then she smiled. "But you're clever, aren't you? I bet if I checked, I'd find your arm." My red face gave me away. She smiled. "Smart, but don't worry, you're safe." The women talked about how their husbands tried to make weak excuses. None seemed too sad about the divorce. "It's like they think it's just a breakup, or they're just that good at pretending." They were all worried about how much this would cost them, and we made it clear it would be a lot. We plan to take half of what they have now, and we won't pay a dime for their defense in court. My husband tried to make the charges seem small. "I started seeing bits of what you recorded that night, and he was so scared," one said. "He had no clue you had tape most of the evening. I didn't think it was bad since his lawyer would get all the proof anyway." "You're not mad? I told them you recorded it. Are you—" I shook my head and said that was perfect. My main aim was to get back at them and show their wives the truth, no matter what the law did. "Jerry just called you names, shocked why you would even record in the first place," Gloria told us, making the rest laugh. "It stopped me from making a huge mistake. I can't marry Andy now, knowing what a jerk he is. I need to know who a man is on the inside, not just how he looks," a sweet lady said. The others cheered and raised their drinks in agreement. I glanced at Gloria, who seemed to be thinking hard. "Did you confront your wife or soon-to-be ex-wife, Army?" one of the women asked. I said I did because I was interested in what excuse she would give me. "Let's hear it. We know you recorded it. Heck, we all did what you did and taped what our cheating husbands had to say. We shared stories. The guys are trying to protect each other, but it won't work. The law will get them. And if not, we will. My stupid husband might even lose his vet license. He has a meeting this week for using drugs the wrong way." I played the recording. "Wow, that woman is living in a dream. She really didn't think what she did was so bad. She's just mad you found out. Or rather, that you remembered. She said she was not faithful but still thinks you two have a future and acts like she really wants it. Gloria told me, 'Stacy loves you. If that's love, I'd hate to see what hate looks like.' She does love him. She dreams of having his kids and staying married," Gloria said. "You can tell by how she talks. She just wants some fun on the side. She doesn't get that love isn't all you need for marriage. You need more. Gloria looked right at me, not saying more. I waited a few days to call Gloria to check on her. I was surprised she was really happy to hear from me. We planned to meet up next weekend. "I was really glad you called, Army," she said when we met. "I wanted to call you too." Now I was the surprised one. "I hope you trust me now," Gloria said. Then she blushed and smiled. "Maybe I should check you over and not just your waistband." I was speechless. "Come on, we're grown-ups. We both feel something," she said. "Meeting us was all wrong. You must think I'm not deep for falling for a guy like Jerry." I tried to speak but didn't as she kept talking. I just wanted to be in love. I let my feelings lead. Jerry was smart, good-looking, and had a body that turned heads. I liked the idea of people being jealous of me, but my mom wasn't jealous. She told me he'd only hurt me. She said he was as deep as a kiddie pool. I didn't listen and married him anyway. "But I'm not one to give up," Gloria said with a smile. "Though I should have that time." I got why she fell for his talk. The guy could have been a top coach or a salesman with his gym. He'd cheer on folks, saying he saw them getting better and push them to do more. He'd mix up their workout plans. People liked that. I never caught him making a move on another lady before. I doubt he cheated, and he says he didn't, Gloria shared. Mom said sorry for how she felt, but wasn't too torn up about me and him ending. She figured it was just a matter of time before he strayed. She's kind of glad we didn't have kids with that jerk. "I'm not clear on what Jerry liked in me," she added, cheeks turning pink. To me, it was no puzzle. She was super smart, kind, and really attractive. "I tend to push too much. I'm all about doing my best and want the same from others. That's just how I was brought up. Don't think that means I'm all about money. My dad earns a decent wage, not too high at his job. Mom runs a small shop. They both love what they do. They had 2 girls, and there was a lot of what we called good times together. Dad used to say being successful meant having a tight family with kids who tried a lot of stuff. My parents got my sister and me into different things. We did dance. I played piano, and my sister picked up the guitar. We even tried karate, and they pushed us to give sports like soccer and volleyball a shot. The point was to try it all and see what we liked. When I told them about Jerry, Dad didn't say much. I guess Mom's words were for both of them. After talking a few times these last days, Gloria explained. "She even said a few things about you." "Me?" I asked, caught off guard. "I've never even met her." "Yeah, but I've told her a lot about you. You're a big part of this story," Gloria said. I asked what her mom said. "A lot of it is just for my mom and me. Maybe I'll tell you one day. But she thought about you and your wife like I did. Stacy loves you but doesn't respect you. We both see that," Gloria said. I agreed that Stacy didn't respect me one bit, but I wasn't sure if she loved me at all. "Oh, she does love you. She wants your kids. She did a lot to keep your marriage together. If she just wanted to cheat, she would have, not caring if you found out. Maybe she tried to hide it at first, then say it's too hard and leave you." Gloria stopped to look into my eyes for a few seconds. I felt she was trying to guess what I was thinking as she went on. "No, she loves you and wants your kids, but she thinks you're not good enough for her. She wants to be better than you. You said it before. She'd always know she did something to you. When you argued, she'd think of that and know she won. That part of the tape where she and Jerry talked about her rubbing her area in your face after they did it. You know what they meant. She was going to make you deal with this stuff out of her." "That's a new level of not respecting. It makes me mad." I laughed and said it didn't make me happy either. Gloria's eyes got watery. "You don't get it. It makes me really mad. I want to pull her hair out for what she planned for you. She might not respect you, but I do." Gloria took a few breaths and raised her hand for me to stay quiet. "I have to say this. I respect you. I did from the first time we met in that cafe. You were brave to meet the wife of the man who ruined your marriage. And you acted with dignity. You were nice to me, respectful. I like that. I liked you. Please don't say anything and let me finish," Gloria begged. "There's this thing about you. It makes me think of my dad. People say we end up choosing someone like our parents. I'm not sure. With Jerry, that wasn't the case. But in you, I catch glimpses of my dad. Small things, but they're there. There were things my mom said to me. Stuff I chose not to tell you," Gloria said softly. She struggled to look me in the eyes, trying to see how I felt. She noticed I liked her more than that. After a few talks, she warned me not to fall for you too fast, as it might end badly. Then she changed her tune and said we should take it slow, sorting out our own stuff first before thinking about what comes next. But it's hard holding back. She looked at me. I need to know. Do you like me? Being honest, I felt really guilty about how I feel about you. I confessed. She looked back at me, her face full of shock and maybe a little shame. There's something about you that made me want to hold you, to do more. And I wasn't sure why. At first, I thought it was to get back at Jerry for what he did. I believed I could if I wanted to, I admitted. But then I realized I didn't care what Jerry thought. I wanted you for you. And that's when the guilt hit differently. I was still married, in a bad one, but still it felt wrong against everything I believe in. I stopped hoping I wouldn't start crying, but to answer you, yes, I like you. No, I love you. I used to think me and Stacy were perfect together. We liked the same things. We were a good match. But you and I, we haven't really talked about what we both want. But with you, I see something I've needed, something I've been looking for. Yeah, I like you a lot and I'm drawn to you, but it scares me big time. I don't want this to be a quick thing. I want it to be real. It feels too early, too quick. Awesome, Gloria said. So instead of taking off my clothes and jumping on you like I really want to, I can take my time and see if we're a good match. We both started to laugh. Hey, you might feel a bit unsure about Stacy talking about feeling Jerry's excitement and wanting it because it was big. It's not. His legs are strong, but what's between is average. I was not new to this when I met him, but also not wild. So when I say he is just okay, I know you're just as good. And I've sneaked looks at the shape in your pants. Gloria smiled at me, then said, If we're taking it slow to not mess things up, can we at least kiss? I nodded, unable to speak my mind. She moved over and sat on my lap with a smile. She got close when her lips met mine. One of us shivered, but when we stopped for a breath, she was all smiles. I'm going to have you like those old treasure hunters. I'm marking my spot. Oh, and when there's no more gold, you'll move on, I joked, hoping she wouldn't take it wrong. She didn't. I knew you could joke. She giggled. No, I'll use every bit of gold I find to make my dream real. But like any deal, I won't stretch too far. And boy, do I want to stretch. I'm close to ripping my clothes off and taking you right here, but forcing you isn't a big deal. I can feel you're ready. No, I want us built on love, not just a hot moment. Respect is key, and we've got to meet halfway, because I'm strong-willed and know what I want in life, just like my mom. For many days, I couldn't stop thinking about what Gloria had told me. Really, it was all that was on my mind. I knew I was just getting over Stacy, but this felt different. I agreed with Gloria. Stacy did love me, but didn't really respect me. Did that mean I was some kind of loser? She loved me but wanted someone better. I wasn't enough for her. That stung a lot. Gloria, on the other hand, said she respected me. She even said I reminded her of her dad, who I hadn't met yet. She started to say she loved me more and more. That made me like her a lot, but also made me feel guilty. At first, I just wanted to be with Gloria to show I could take Jerry's girl. I wanted to make him feel bad, like he did to me. I could do that to Jerry easily. But hurting Gloria, I couldn't even think about it without feeling terrible. The guilt was too much. Mr. Price did go ahead and handle my divorce. This meant Stacy and I didn't share money anymore. She didn't have a job since she didn't want to go back to the gym. She took half of our small savings, which was just enough for her food and car gas. She had to call her parents for lawyer money. This meant she had to tell them we were breaking up and why. But she didn't tell them everything. Her dad called me angry, saying I was being too harsh. I get it. Your feelings were hurt because she flirted and kind of went too far with her boss, but she didn't really cheat. Don't you think you should try seeing a counselor? He said. I asked him what she had told him. Turns out she left out the part about oral sex. She said she flirted with Jerry and acted wild at the arm wrestling thing to get the crowd excited. She mentioned that she might have had to sleep with Jerry if he had won, but I got mad and left her. Jerry and his pals came to my place to calm me down, but I aimed a gun at them when they got too pushy. Sure, it's way too much, but you two have been together for a while. Isn't it worth trying to fix? I told him I'd send him the sound clip of what happened that night so he could make up his own mind about trying to save our marriage. I mailed him a USB. 3 days later, he rang me to say he was sorry. He got it. He'd still need to help his girl stay out of trouble with the law, though. By the end of 2 weeks, everyone knew I had the full sound clips and was willing to share. The 2 vet docs got into trouble and were watched closely till their court day. They could work but couldn't use any sleep meds, which made their work really hard. I told every lady at the gym what Jerry tried to do to Stacy. Stokes Fitness fired Jerry to keep the peace. They had no rules against dating at work, so I couldn't take them to court. I didn't think of this, but my lawyer did. It took half a year for the court day for the 7 bad guys. That seemed long to me, but I was told it was pretty quick. The local news picked up the story since the 6 men were well known in town. It got more attention than just a brief news piece with updates shared regularly. Someone kept asking the news folks for updates. I don't know who. As expected, the lawyers tried to keep the sound clip out of the court case. It was key for the charges. My words alone would have been seen as just a mad husband talking. The 6 men even tried to get me in trouble for pointing a gun at them. But the DA's office didn't take that seriously. People thought what I did was justified. The 6 guys didn't think so. They thought Stacy was just a silly girl, but they didn't know how mad she could get. She was sad her marriage was over when her folks found out. The guys planned to make her like a prisoner to them. They told her to speak up for the law. Her agreeing to their plan to drug me and make me forget got her 2 years, but she only had to serve 18 months. She told all about how the men made their plan to get me while driving from Kensington after the contest. They talked it through on their phones, all connected. Of course, she didn't know their plans for her, but what she heard was enough to get them in deep trouble. I wished they got more jail time, but at the start, I would have been okay just to see their partners get mad at them when I called the cops. I mainly wanted to mess up their lives like they did mine. I had to tell Hal and some friends that things turned out better for me. After the first time, Gloria said she was sticking with me. I stayed close to her, but she was tough. I had leaders in the military that were softer, though none of them were as nice to look at or kissed as well as she did. Gloria made it clear I was selling myself short. So, with her push, I found myself signing up for classes at the local college. Hal thought if I could do it, he could too. Hal picked criminal studies and I started with general stuff, but found I liked business. We both did really well, and by the time the trial started, we'd finished a whole term with great marks. Gloria matched Hal with one of her friends, Marie. I knew Marie as the ex of guy number 3. Like the other ladies, she was a real looker. "Don't go telling Marie stories about Korea Army," Hal once told me. "I've got a gun and she's just about worth shooting my buddy over," he said with a big smile. Hal didn't need to wait for his divorce to end, but I had to. Gloria was okay with dating a married man a week after her divorce was done, but I wouldn't. She even told her mom about us not sleeping together yet when we went to celebrate at their house. Her mom laughed, gave me a kiss on the cheek, and said she couldn't wait for me to make her a grandma. I waited that extra week until my divorce was through before Gloria and I got together. It was definitely worth waiting. She couldn't get enough, and I did my best to make her happy. After the first couple of days of our honeymoon, mostly spent in bed and not on the beaches of the Bahamas, she told me she had stopped taking birth control months ago. "I wasn't with anyone, so I didn't need it. And I want to have your baby, Calvin." Gloria had a thing. She called me Army around our friends, but used Calvin or Cal when it was just us. "I own you, Calvin," she said a few times while we were waiting for our divorces. On our wedding night, she smiled, turned around, and showed me her right cheek. It had exclusive property of Calvin Bostic written on it. Marie had helped her with the sticker. I finally got why Hal, my best man, had been so giggly at the wedding and party. "Marie's thinking about getting property of Marie inked on me," he said. "But if I spilled about your sticker, she'd make sure it was branded on me to remember who's boss." We laughed and joked about how lucky we were with such amazing women. Both of us didn't feel we were missing out on anything. One day, Gloria and I went to Higgins' restaurant for a quick bite after seeing my folks. Gloria needed to go to the restroom because our baby was making it hard for her to wait. She went off and I sat down. Then Stacy came to take my order. "Hi, Army," she said. "I did my time and got my job back here. I saw the lady you came in with go to the restroom." I nodded and said Gloria was my wife and that she was expecting. "She seems kind of familiar," Stacy said. "She was at the court stuff because she used to be married to Gerald Jenkins. You knew him as Goliath, the big guy you liked." Gloria says I'm just as good and better in ways. I haven't checked myself, but I'll take her word, I told her, and saw Stacy looked super surprised. So you two got together? She asked. Yeah, but only after she was officially free, I said. I don't mess around like that, and not just together. Gloria and I got married. That's our baby. Another person came with our coffee. I'll be helping you now. Stacy needed a break, the girl said. Well, that's how it went. Thanks for listening to One Infidelity Hit. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and drop us a like.